Welcome back to another episode of Real Aussie Adventures. Last night was probably the worst night in terms of sleep. I know I say that a lot, but I'm convinced it was because both of my hips hurt. One of them hurts way more than the other. So I couldn't lay on my side. Couldn't lay on my back because that made my back hurt. And I couldn't lay on my stomach because that made my back and hips hurt. So, that's that. And not to mention, it was so windy last night. Like, so windy. Next level windy. As in, things like we have this cable right there. The cord that you use to close the tent. It just kept bashing up against the tent. And before it was just that loop that was over the side, but now that bit's obviously fallen down. And it was so cold, but of course I must sleep with this open so that the inside of the tent doesn't get super condensation-y. But yes, that's the morning that we've got to wake up to. And it's a brand new day. I'm going to have Weet-Bix and fruit for breakfast. Well, we made it back into Ellery Creek because yesterday we only did the waterhole walk, which was the 500 meters down to the little swimming spot. But there was actually another walk, which we didn't know about until we got here. Which was, I think it's the 1.5 kilometer loop, or maybe it's 3 kilometer loop, I don't know. But either way, there was a bushwalk to do, which we didn't do yesterday. And so we decided, let's come back today. So we're back here nice and early. We'll put on some sun cream and then get ready to go on our nice little nature walk here. And then we'll carry on, go back the way we came from, a little bit further on, and then see what the rest of West Macdonald has to offer. One thing I really liked about this national park is that there are rest stops in 2 places, and they've both been locations that have actually been pretty central to where we needed to go. I suppose not yesterday's, but the day before's wasn't super good because we had to backtrack a lot more. But it was nice that it was free instead of a paid campsite for absolutely nothing, because at least the rest spots have bins, whereas a lot of the campsites in national parks don't have any rubbish bins at all. You have to, whatever rubbish you bring in, you have to then bring out with you, which isn't a problem. But staying at Litchfield National Park, where there weren't any rubbish bins, really was an eye-opener to how much rubbish I actually go through as a human being, like a single human being. It was quite crazy, actually. I only put sun cream on my legs, and the start of our walk had us wandering through the campground, which was really quite different. I've got half a capsicum for breakfast, and an apple in my pocket for when I've finished my capsicum. And we're off on our wander. First one of the day. This looks like old castle ruins. Like I'm about to wander into an old broken Camelot or something. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it. Finished my capsicum. About to lose my hat. And yeah, it's not been too bad of a walk. Since going down, there have actually been quite a lot of trail markers. It's definitely been not without its challenges. It's quite arid. Not that that's a problem, and not that that's anything we're not unfamiliar with. But yes, that's been the track, and these have been our views. And the icy wind came back and hit us. So I'm glad I didn't take off my jumper, because, oh, it's quite bitter this morning. So bitter, in fact, that I can't really feel my fingers. They're kind of hard to use, but that's fine. We're on our walk, we're living life to its fullest, and life is great. We're nearly back. We can see the car park from where we are. I've moved on to my second snack, which is the apple. And yeah, it's been a pretty good walk. The car park is just over there, or the campgrounds anyway. I feel satisfied with this wander. We chose to visit the waterhole again, because why not? We're here, and just to test if the water's just as cold as yesterday. And it is. But something really eerie is there's a man just there. And there's no way you can get to the other side without swimming, and he's fully clothed. So I don't know how he got there. I don't know what he's doing, but he's been standing there completely stationary for the past 10 minutes that we've been here. So we finished our wander, little walk, and that lady right there, like myself, has lost some of her belongings. She lost not one pair of thongs, but 2. So 4 shoes in total. And I completely understand that feeling of wanting to go back and looking for stuff. Not because, you know, I can't go to the local $2 shop and just buy another pair of whatever I've lost, but just from the element that, you know, it holds sentimental value and you don't want to lose your stuff. There is nothing, I guess, more sad or more frustrating, probably more frustrating, than losing your belongings. It's just, it hurts. I don't know why it hurts so much, but it does. Anyway, that is that. So we went off the beaten track again, typical, trying to find this Stanley Chasm. I must say, this side of the park is not very well signposted at all. You sort of turn in and then all of a sudden, bam, there's your signpost. And if you're just driving past, you'd miss it completely. But anyway, having a look at this little place called Jay Creek. Don't know what's here, didn't even know it existed. But yeah, I'll have a look. Well, we made it into Simpsons Gap. We decided just to cut out Stanley Chasm because the entrance fee for a 15-minute walk was just ridiculous. But I am quite happy with this. It was a bit of a letdown because we stopped and then we went on a little bit further, like to Hughes Gorge. There was nothing. And we also didn't feel, well, I didn't feel confident enough in my ability to get there, so it was that. Then we went to a random stop that we just saw along the side of the road. Didn't feel comfortable going in there, so we turned back around. Then we went into Stanley Chasm, and of course that, you just like drive away. And now of course we're here, and thankfully we're actually able to get out of the car and go for a wander. But honestly, it was really deflating. But I will not complain. to these views here. They're very nice. And there's quite a few walks to do here. So we'll do this one, which is 350 metres up and back. And then we'll do one of the loop walks, Cassia Walk, and then the Ghost Scum Walk, which is further on the way out, which is good. And the way that we like doing things, going further to the closest one, just like you do in your flag races in primary school. We made it to the end of Simpsons Gap. Lovely, serene little place. Bit of natural water. And I'm absolutely loving it because we've actually seen our first fuzzy bit of wildlife other than birds and bugs. So that's been nice to see, a little rare animal in its own natural habitat. But yes, onwards now, backwards to where we came, and on to the other two walks, and then into Alice. Now on our third walk of the day, in our second proper location, the Cassia Hill Walk. I'm ready for it. I don't know if my legs are ready for it, but I'm ready for it. Found the name of the walk, the Silver Cassia. Very pretty. I'm assuming anyway, it is the Cassia Walk, so I'd think that. But the landscape, it's such a nice sort of lime yellow. It's lovely. We just fueled up at probably the most dodgy of looking little areas. It was in an industrial area, not a problem. But it was also like in an industrial area, in a turn, and you're kind of like, gosh, this is leading me on a bum steer somewhere. Anyway, we made it, and thankfully there was one other vehicle there, so I know it's not like super dodgy. Don't want to fill up my car with any dirty diesel. This means that we get to have the air conditioner on again. Hooray! And then just as we were finishing up, two other cars pulled in, so that made me feel pretty good knowing that it's not super dodgy or anything like that. Just checked in to our place for tonight. It's pretty good. We have a very nice, very central location right at the front, which is both a curse and a blessing because this is Alice Springs, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't feeling, I would be lying if I said I was feeling 100% safe. I'm not feeling 100% safe here in Alice, but then again, it's all stuff that I've heard. When we went to the shops last week and a half ago, I was fine. But again, it is the weekend and you never know who's out on weekends. And and what shenanigans they're going to get up to. But I'm not complaining. We have a very central location. We are right under the shade for our stuff, which is perfect because we don't have air conditioning or anything like that. So when we get back later on, it's not going to be absolutely heavingly hot. We're about to go shopping. But yes, we're going to go do some grocery shopping with that list that I made yesterday. I'm not sure if we need anything else outside of the list. I'm hoping that one day on this trip, I will be able to list everything that we need and then not go and fill up my car with random stuff. But bear in mind, I am packing Jacob with me. Anyway, before we checked in, just after we did the fuel, we saw this little pet shop on the drive in and out, and we're like, we've got to visit. So we decided to go in, get our little pet fix. So we went in, saw some fish, lots of fish, and some reptiles as well, some albino pythons, which were pretty cool. They're pretty big as well. Well, you couldn't really see them because they were in their hidey, but they're maybe that thick. And there was also a green tree python called Steve. I have not seen a green tree python before in my life other than on documentaries, so that was really cool to see that. He wasn't for sale. And we also saw bunny rabbits, and I have been missing my bunnies for the past few days. So it was nice to see little bunny rabbits again. One of them even looked a little similar to my boy, but of course not quite, because he had a white belly and a tanned neck on him. So that was pretty cool. And there was a kookaburra as well. Crazy. It just kind of stared at us, looked at us like, what are you doing? I didn't realize you could have kookaburras as pets, nor would I want to buy a kookaburra as a pet, but I don't know. Anyway, that is all for the update for now. We made it to the shops. Well, we made it to the shops. We're now going to do our grocery shopping with the list. We lost this in the plethora and maze and absolute pigsty that the back seat is. But yes, that's the plan. And that's what's happening. Did our shopping. We got back to the caravan park, and some haggy lady just wandered across the street in the caravan park. She shouldn't have been in here. She just wandered across, and of course I stopped. She stopped on the side, slightly to the side of the road. So I was like, okay, I'll carry on with what I was doing. So I pulled forward, which is where I was going. And then anyway, she crosses the road, goes over down there, and then she just turns around and starts shouting profanities at me and calling me a racist. Anyway, that happened. In positive news, this is what we bought. These items up here are all items that were not on the grocery list, but they came home with us anyway. Right, so just a friendly PSA, eggs are fragile. Very fragile. It is all over the inside of the fridge. I have taken out the paper towels that were in the fridge, so it's taken up most of the egg gook. But of course I've still got, as you can see, egg gook in there. So, yay! Also, apparently that person may not have been yelling at me. They were just yelling profanities at someone else, because they then come back in and bash someone up with a tent pole. And that person was not me that they bashed up with a tent pole. The police are here. All very exciting, honestly. If this was not a welcome to Alice Springs and a reason why I should be concerned coming to Alice Springs, this is my reminder. Also, someone in the caravan park here, the company that made my rooftop tent, they make an annex, and they sent that person the wrong annex, And then of course they remedied it by sending them the right one, and they just said to keep the old annex. He's given us something that's probably cost like $1,000 on their website to us free of charge. So I don't know, right place, right time, I reckon. I have no idea where we're going to put it. I don't know if we can fold it up with the tent. I also don't really know how to put it in, but we'll find out. We will find out. So the great news is only 2 eggs were smashed, and not even the eggs that I thought, like one of them, yes, but the one, so it was this one and this one, so second from the actual end, was smashed, but the other one on the end is completely intact, which is great because I have 6, 4, 8, 10 eggs remaining. Only 2 got smashed, but I've run out of containers, and having 2 loose eggs on their own is not ideal, so I guess I'm having an omelette for dinner. I have finally finished organising the car. I decided that the fridge was the last straw. I was just going to pull everything out, organise it, put things in Ziploc bags and containers and everything like that. And now it is it's about 7 o'clock, and now I'm going to go have a shower. Wash this mangled mess, because Lord knows it's ready for it after a week of not showering. I have a really itchy head as well, so let's go. Just gotten out of the shower. It's quite cold, but for dinner I'm going to have some toast, with a toaster that actually works. I don't have to press it down like I did in Uluru, and a microwave omelette or scrambled eggs. So thank you, Dad, for teaching me all those years ago how to make scrambled eggs in a microwave.